The tones aren't what's important, though. It's about showing the guitar off. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Creepy Crawl. Got another guitar video for you. Another guitar video. I want to bring this bad boy out. This is Sweet Amber. This is a Les Paul, what is it, Tribute? Les Paul Tribute. Had it for about 2 years now. I think it's a 22-1. Who the hell puts dates out there like that? Weirdo. I found out that Zounds, regardless of your credit, will give you credit. And that's how I bought this. That's how I bought this. Put a down payment on it and then paid monthly for it and paid it off. It's completely paid off, and I do not regret the decision even a little bit. I haven't even played this thing for a while. I had it in the case because when I got the amp, I had a few bucks in my pocket, and I wanted to do something really, really big. So I actually contemplated trading this in with a few dollars for a significantly more expensive piece of gear, whether that be another guitar or, in this case, I ended up with an amp and not traded. This in particular, I traded my other amp for it, so, and a few bucks. But I pulled it out like 2 nights ago, and I'm like, why has this been in the case for that friggin' long? This is, I guess if I had a baby, this would definitely be high on the list. I guess that can come and go with different gear that may or may not enter my life. There are some obviouses. So, what is a Les Paul Tribute? If you don't know, it's a lower-end Gibson. I guess some people consider it lower than the studio models. I would honestly call these an upgrade to the studio model. I prefer the aesthetic of it. I prefer the warmth and the woodsiness of this. I like the fact that it's a coffee table. It's a giant, pretty-looking coffee table that just happens to have things on it to make it do that. And that's, I guess, one of the things I love the most about electric guitar to begin with. Now, acoustic's a whole different story. But a very wise gentleman I know named Scott once said, Chris, all the thing is an end table with strings. Seriously, man. It's all in the setup and how you play. And the reason I go there is because a lot of people picked on me for having this particular model. I prefer the look of it. I prefer the vibe of it. I think a Les Paul. This is the vibe. And this is a 50's tribute, by the way. A 50's tribute. So I have the 50's carve. There's a lot of specs on this thing that aren't accurate. Like I want to get the taller pickup rings. I do want to swap out the pickups. I want to keep them. But I want to put a Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates down here and maybe a Jazz or a 59 up here. I'm not sure which one. These pickups sound all right, but they're not. It's not doing what I want to do in this guitar, if that makes any sense to you. So the specs of the thing, and I don't remember what the humbuckers are. I want to say it's the, you know, the 490 500 or something like that, or the 498 both. I can't remember. I'll try to look it up and put it up there. They're made in America. Your standard, just regular 2-pneumatic stop tail, 2-volume, 2-tone, cream plastics, beautiful rosewood fingerboard. I don't think this is that Laurel stuff. I think they actually use rosewood on this. This is where people get upset, the maple neck. They're like, oh my God, maple neck. I think this combination works better than a regular Les Paul anyway. Don't get me wrong, I love Les Paul standards and I love Les Paul customs. I actually want to get a 50's inspired Les Paul with the P90s so I could turn it into Neil Young's Black #1, I guess he calls it. Wow, that rhymes. But going back to this guitar, I honestly think it just gives us something different. I mean, obviously it does. Obviously it does. It's not as warm. It has a little bit of something cutting through. But that's what I think of when I think of a Les Paul anyway, though. We have the Gibson style tuners. I mean, they are Gibsons, but they're not like the huge ones. What are these? The deluxe Gibson. Oh, they're the Gibson version. My mistake. They work well. Actually, this thing stays in tune pretty damn well. It's completely stock with the exception of, this is still set up with 9s. I have not upgraded to 10s yet. I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of digging the 9s vibe, but when I swap out the pickups, I'm definitely going to go to 10s and tune it and set it up for a step, half a step down. But right now, I got Ernie Ball 9s on it. Not those pink ones. If you think about it, Les Paul Custom has a maple neck, so I think the 70s Les Pauls, which is my favorite era of guitar, really, the 70s and early 80s. I love all that dark wood and brass. And I would like to eventually get a brass saddled bridge for this and a Bigsby. But we'll see. We'll see. Right now, she's going to stay as is. I don't know if I mentioned it, but her name is Sweet Amber. It's a Honeyburst. Mahogany body maple cap. You know, does it bother you it doesn't have binding? No. Look at that. Tell me that's not beautiful. I would love to get it professionally scraped and then re-lacquered so it would be a little brighter, especially like a real thin violin. Oh, man, because this does have the carve. You can hardly see it because it's a satin finish, but it does have that nice deep 50s carve. And a huge 50s neck. And I love it. I think that's why I like the Glary Strat so much. That neck is actually bigger than this thing. Bigger than this thing. Here it is on the bridge pickup. All right, I just watched Murder in the Front Row, the thrash story there, the Bay Area thrash story. So I got thrash in my mind. I love this thing. It still has that fresh factory lacquer smell, this woodsy, like I just walked into a cabin. And as soon as I opened the gig bag, it came with this really thick leather padded gig bag. The thing's awesome. It's like literally like 10% less than a real case. It's pretty cool. I like it. And this is the first Gibson I ever bought that came with a baby photo of the dude, you know, working on it. After he set it up, I guess they take a picture of it and then they put it in a case. Pretty rad stuff. I've never had anything like that before, so of course all that will always stay with the guitar. I did use the strap it came with for a little while, but this is a strap I've had since probably 95, 96. I put the LSD Sun on here. I got to redo it. I got Posca pens right here. I should just do it right now, but I don't know. Either way, I love this guitar. I love this guitar. And at the time, it was between this and the Paul Reed Smith equivalent in the same price range and the same vibe. And I ultimately went with this because of the size, and I knew there'd be weight. It is weight relieved, unfortunately, but I was kind of hoping for a little bit heavier. Don't get me wrong, this is not a light guitar at all. I would still say this is probably about 8 pounds, maybe a little bit less, but not so heavy that it's insane. And maybe in a way that's a better value, you know. Maybe I'm better for it. And I love it. It sounds great. It plays amazing. And that's it. So that's my Les Paul tribute. My Les Paul 50s tribute I've had for about 2 years. Her name is Sweet Amber. And I absolutely love this girl. She's done very well by my side. And I love her. And I can't say enough good things about her. So guys, go ahead and leave your feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback too. The Creep is positive. Leave a comment down below. Do you have a tribute? Do you still think it's crap because it doesn't have the plastic around the edges and a different kind of wood on the neck? It's really the main differences to be perfectly honest with you. And a little bit of relief, weight relief, but I find that as a benefit. So let me know what you think about this model. If you have one, if you don't have one, if you don't care either way, I don't care. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You know the deal. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. By the way, the sounds you're hearing from the amp is a clean amp. I'm using my new pedal. You just got a preview. We're going to be doing a video on that very soon.